Welcome to Channel X TV. I'm delighted to be joined today by Mark from BigCommerce and Oliver from Brompton. So welcome both. I hope you're both good today.
Good afternoon, Chris.
Now, Oliver, let's start with you. Can you just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do at Brompton?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. So my name's Oliver Boardman. I'm the Chief Technology Officer at Brompton. So I've got responsibility for all of the systems that we use across the business, both for manufacturing, customer-facing technology, trying to glue together all of the systems that make the business function.
And the business, for anyone that doesn't know, or is Brompton, you must have seen the folding cycles all over the town.
Yeah, so Brompton was founded about 50 years ago. We produced our millionth bike last year, so we produce about 100,000 bikes a year. The business is growing and diversifying. We have exciting new products that have come to market. So over the last couple of years, we've launched a titanium bike, which is much lighter than the standard core bike. And as of a couple of weeks ago, we launched our new G-Line bike, which has the first bike with bigger wheels. So,
wow.
So it's exciting times here at Brompton.
Yeah. And Mark, welcome, Mark. Tell us about yourself and what you do at BigCommerce.
Yeah, so I look after Europe for BigCommerce, so all of our go-to-market operations, our sales, our partnerships, our customer success and professional services teams, so helping customers get live on our product and then get the most out of it is what I'm focused on here at BigCommerce.
Fantastic. Now, Oliver, can you tell me a bit about the shape of Brompton today? We all know it's a fantastic British engineering business, but what are your main routes to market? How do you actually get the product to the end customer? And I'm pretty sure I've also seen Brompton bikes for hire.
Yes, indeed. So we're quite a diverse business. You know, if you wind back 10 years ago, we would have sold all of our bikes through dealers and distributors, but we're increasingly a direct-to-consumer business now. So we've got our own retail stores in cities like Singapore, New York, Shanghai, London. But obviously e-commerce is now a pretty critical part of our overall channel strategy, and that's growing quite rapidly. So whilst we will always have the dealer-based business, direct-to-consumer is really critical for how we're investing and how we're growing.
And D2C is always kind of a little bit contentious for a retailer network. How are you balancing selling direct to the consumer while still supporting retail channels?
I think the direct to consumer business is part of the overall brand strategy as the business grows, as the people. So excuse me. As Brompton grows and the brand grows globally, that creates opportunity for everybody. So as we are more able to invest in the brand and drive online sales, actually that has a ripple effect. Brompton is a considered purchase journey, so we can't give people online bike rides. So that links back to the Brompton Bike Hire scheme, but also to our dealers networks who are key for giving people the opportunity to ride at Brompton. So I think what the online and direct to consumer business is doing is giving us confidence to invest in marketing, invest in the brand story, but that has a ripple effect through to our dealers as well.
Chris, I can actually concur with that, because I had my Brompton stolen last year on a train coming home from London. Yeah. And so I've been in the market for a replacement. And there are so many different options now on one of those bicycles, particularly with the new lighter weight version Oliver just mentioned. So I've been doing loads of research over the last couple of weeks, and I started with the website there first, kind of honed in on a couple of products and configurations that I was really interested in, and then went to visit a store that stocked that bike, all of which you can see, via Google and through the Feedonomics application, for example. You can go and see where that stock is, see who's stocking it, and then go and try it out. And particularly when you're making that kind of considered purchase for a new bike, I think the omni-channel journey is really important.
And a question for both of you, really, starting with you, Oliver. Did you start with D2C in the UK, or did you go worldwide with D2C straight off? And then a follow-up for you, Mark, on how do you support Brompton on their e-commerce journey, specifically on the user experience with the BigCommerce tools? So, Oliver, how did D2C start?
We've had direct-to-consumer in the business for maybe 7 or 8 years as an e-commerce platform, but it grew quite slowly and quite steadily pre-pandemic. And then as the pandemic hit, obviously the retail networks were closed for large chunks at that time, and the direct-to-consumer business through e-commerce accelerated quite rapidly. But the platforms that we had at the time were unable to cope with the sort of surges of demand that we were seeing, which forced us to rethink the technologies that underpinned what we did. So whilst direct-to-consumer has been steadily growing for a number of years, I think it was the pandemic that massively accelerated how we interact online with our customers, and therefore the tech that needs to sit underneath that to support that.
And Mark, talking about the tech, what can BigCommerce bring to the table for a business like Brompton, and especially if they suddenly need to scale like during the pandemic? What can you actually bring to the table on the tech side to support them? And especially, I love the way that you use the BigCommerce site to research the bike and find out where you could actually go and get the stock. But what can you do for businesses beyond that to really power the user experience?
Well, if you look at Brompton's technical architecture, actually doesn't it's not just BigCommerce. This is a composable solution architected with a really best-in-class technology stack. You know, you've got Algolia for search, you've got Alakai for the front-end presentation layer that's serving that shop window, if you like. Highly performant, really quick experience for a consumer. You've got Bloomreach powering engagement and content. You've got Feedonomics powering kind of product data orchestration, product data management across all of the channels, and pushing that data to ad serving channels, which is obviously a BigCommerce product, and BigCommerce providing the core of all of the commerce services via the API. The APIs that we have. So it's a composable stack. It's about selecting the best tool to do the job that Brompton were looking to do, which was, you know, around international selling, B2C, B2B, product data orchestration, speed, efficiency, and kind of pulling that all together into a solution stack that allows Brompton to go and serve consumers the way they want to serve it. And I think if you look at the job that our agency did, Apply Digital, on that website, you look at it, it's an amazing design, it works well, it's highly performant, and I think it does what it says on the tin. It serves an amazing customer experience.
And you just mentioned an agency, Mark, because I was sitting here listening to you reel off that list of services that Brompton use and thinking, how does a brand go about selecting which services to use? And I'm presuming, is it the agency that does most of the legwork there, recommending the best-in-class services for the solution needed?
Well, I have an opinion on that. Maybe that's a question for Oliver, who more so than me, Chris. But certainly, BigCommerce has a point of view and has an opinion on what a best-in-class tech stack looks like. That's defined in the kind of partners that we integrate, go-to-market motions, the successes that other customers have. So we look very closely at what works best for a customer, and we like to make sure that gets used, you know, more and more. But of course, the agency has a vested interest and a view on it, and ultimately the customer, and in this case Brompton and Oliver, you know, they define their tech stack, they define what tools they want to use. It's and they're looking for opinions and advice from their partners.
So Oliver, did you go against any BigCommerce's opinionated products, or did you more or less go with them but select the parts that you needed for your tech stack?
I think what was important when we were making the initial selection, which was about 2.5 years ago, was that we were selecting the partner and the platform together. And therefore, our process was designed to ensure that the partner that we were going to work with also knew sufficiently well the different elements of the ecosystem. As Mark mentioned, it's a sort of composable set of systems. So the partner plays a critical role in ensuring that the system glues together very well. So the process that we went through ensured that we were choosing both a best-in-class platform and also a best-in-class partner.
That does make a lot of sense. Now, I want to move on because we're heading into Q4. What trends are you seeing for the busiest part of the year, and also what's the outlook for 2025 looking? And I know we're waiting for a budget at the end of October. The economy is still not in a healthy place. What are you doing to drive demand, and what are you seeing consumers wanting from you?
So from Brompton's perspective, I think the 2 years post-COVID was a big boom. I think the whole bike industry has been challenged over the last couple of years with a bit of oversupply, and we've held our own. We've diversified our product range, and we're increasingly opening in new markets, with Asia being a critical focus area for us. So the new Brompton G line is part of the more exciting products that are coming to market, and that is setting us up in great position as we go into FY20 into 2025 and sort of approach a new year with new optimism.
And Mark, more generally across e-commerce, what are you seeing?
I think going into peak, I think performance and reliability are always the number one thing for any brand in e-commerce operator to be concerned about. I think with the tech stack that Brompton now has, they're assured of strong levels of reliability, performance, uptime, all of those things, which are really table stakes in e-commerce, but actually still today, particularly when we go through this busy period, lots of brands don't get that right. So I think that's number one. I think number two would be really thinking about, to Oliver's point, how you scale the business. Whether that be new products, new opportunities, new markets, which they're doing, but thinking about new channels in which to sell your product. I think Brompton in particular are really well set up for this. They're using Feedonomics in order to orchestrate and centralize and enrich all of their product information, and they're now able to push that out to any channels. Whilst I'm not aware of Brompton's kind of marketplace channel strategy at the moment, it's certainly something that they're really set up to be able to do, to push that data into any marketplace and start selling there and taking orders back into BigCommerce, for example. I think these third-party social channels and marketplaces are huge opportunities for brands in the future. I think artificial intelligence will be something that really comes to the fore in terms of creating more efficiency in a business going into next year. I think some of the early adopters and use cases around enabling more efficiency in creating product descriptions, or creating SEO optimized titles, and those kinds of things can be managed through AI. So creating more business efficiency and operating more profitably is something obviously every brand, every retailer should be focused on heading into next year.
And talking about efficiencies, you've got you Big Digital, a new solution for the travel industry. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So anybody that's tried to book a holiday in recent years will know over the years it's got more and more difficult. Where you go and find your hotels, your airlines, and any other things you want to go and do on holiday, you're kind of doing that in a really siloed way. And that's because, the travel industry is complicated. There's lots of different ways of browsing, of booking. And what we recognize in that industry in particular is there's a lot of legacy technologies that are supporting that user experience, that digital e-commerce experience, third-party back-end technologies supplying reservations for hotels or airline bookings or other transport, ways of getting yourself from A to B, but actually bringing that together in one single user experience for, say, a travel agency, simplifying it, making it easy, creating more flexibility on the front end, but pre-integrating all of those back-end services, and on a lightweight, modern, agile e-com technology stack like BigCommerce, which can be delivered quickly, more cost efficiently, and enabling these industries to change and adapt for the future. And travel is one thing that is growing very quickly. It's a category that's growing massively at the moment. And so yeah, the idea there is we can better serve these customers, these companies with a more modern, agile, quicker to implement, lower risk to implement solution.
And talking of looking to the future, Oliver, what's next for Brompton? I mean, you've done a heck of a lot in the last few years. You've got international with D2C, heading into Asia. You've got the new G-Line bikes. What can we expect to see next from Brompton?
I think for us, it's building on the great foundations that we've got. So, to Mark's point about channel strategy, I think we need to work on improving our data quality, making sure that we're understanding and maximising the potential for every customer that comes into our platform, into our funnel, and understanding how are we going to convert them. So the focus that we have is on data quality, conversion rate optimization, and also for configuration. So ensuring that customers can begin to configure more of the bike themselves. So the opportunity to add that back into our e-commerce tech is something that we're looking at.
Oliver, Mark, thank you so much for your time today. It's been fascinating to talk, and I look forward to catching up again. And good luck for the new year with sales, Oliver.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Goodbye.